act has scared me to death.
Calm. I've got to think this out carefully and calmly.
Well, what happened?
Oh, that fool of a bank manager. I went to him to ask about the trust fund, and he tells me I cannot touch it without some kind of court order. Not only that, I cannot reinvest the interest even without some sort of legal proceeding.
Well, then you best start those legal proceedings.
But how can I? I mean, I could go ahead and start them, and then what if Jason comes back, huh? What if he says that this isn't his kid? What are we going to do? What are we going to live off?
Well, gosh, Miss Aldrich, to tell you the truth, I hadn't given it a lot of thought.
Oh, Mildred, skip it. Just make me some lemonade, okay?
Well, here you go, nice and cold.
Oh, thank you, Mildred, yeah. Oh, sometimes I feel like Mona has got a rope around my neck. And she can either untie me or just leave me there. Oh, thank you.
Well, it'd be better to be untied, I would think, wouldn't it be?
Oh, Mildred, I'm talking about the money.
Oh.
Well, the thing I've got to do is find a way to get Mona's mind off Jason coming home. Now, you be very quiet, you.
Oh, Miss Croft said she was going to use that phone to call her son.
I know, Mildred. Be quiet.
I'm so sorry, Miss Aldrich. I just did not see them boxes there.
What are you doing in here?
Come to get my movie magazine.
I told you I didn't want you leaving your things in here.
Well, you borrowed it, Miss Aldrich.
Oh. Oh, well, I think you'd better buy several of them then. Oh, Mildred, you know I need to sleep. Now I'm wide awake.
Well, I am real sorry, Miss Aldrich. Honest, I am.
It's all right. At any rate, we must be the first ones up, huh?
Oh, no, ma'am. Miss Croft was up at the crack of dawn this morning on the telephone. I think it was long distance.
Long distance? Well, to where? Was it Washington?
Well, I couldn't really tell. But I did keep my ears open, just like you told me, in case there was anything I could pick up.
But wasn't there anything you heard? I mean, anything that would be like a clue?
Oh. Are we in trouble again?
Trouble?
Well, it seems like there's always just a little bit.
Well, no, I mean, not unless, Mona was calling the State Department, that is.
The State Department? But about finding Mr. Aldrich? I thought you said that wasn't going to happen.
Well, now, it probably is. Mildred, would you just keep your voice down? You are one of the loudest keeper of secrets I've ever heard.
Well, I'm sorry. It's just that, well, I thought that was all behind us, as they say.
Well, it is. Or it almost is, anyway. There's just one more little thing I have to do.
What is it?
Never mind. Draw my bath, would you?
Yes, ma'am. You all right, Miss Aldrich? You look like you just seen a ghost.
Well, no, Mrs. Croft just sort of set my nerves on edge for a minute there. Listen, help me get dressed.
Well, what about your bath?
No, there isn't any time for that. Now that Jessica's coming home, I'm sure that she'll be even more determined to get Jason back here. I'll get my jewelry. It's in the case.
What you gonna do?
Whatever I have to do.
Oh, Lord, Miss Aldrich, you like to scare the life out of me.
Where's Jason?
Well,
Where's Mona? Where are they?
they're in her study, talking. They have been at it for the longest time.
Well, how do you know?
Well, I heard them.
You mean you knew what they were saying?
You mean listening in at the door? Oh, no, ma'am.
Oh, well, why not?
Oh, you mean you want me to listen in on them?
No, what I want you to do is go downstairs to Mrs. Sturgis, find her, and make sure she puts together a picnic lunch. I mean, like with roast chicken and a bottle of wine, the works.
Well, yes, ma'am. We going somewheres.
No, you are then going to get Jessica and dress her up real pretty and frilly. I'm going to take a shower and then put on this sweet little number because we're going on a picnic. It is the 4th of July, after all.
Yes, ma'am.
A family picnic. That's where we're going. And I hope it works.
Here's the picnic lunch, Miss Aldrich. Miss Sturgis has really knocked herself out. There is a bottle of wine and a fresh loaf of French bread and a salad on ice and a great big old roast.
Terrific. Now, Mona and Jason still in the study?
Yes, ma'am, they're still at it. Such a nice day, too.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? How do I look?
Absolutely gorgeous.
Well, you think that Jason would rather spend the afternoon looking at me than Mona, wouldn't you?
Well, he'd be crazy not to.
All right. Now, the question is, do I wait for him to come out, or do I go and get him?
Well, now, you wouldn't want to wait too long. Salad will wilt.
Thank you. All right, then, here I go.
Miss Aldrich, it's only me.
Where is she? What's she doing?
She's in the study with the door closed.
What's she doing in there? Who's she talking to?
Well, I didn't hear no voices. Maybe she's crying, too, you know, because of her son leaving.
No, she never shed a tear in her life. She's plotting something against me. She's gonna do something. She probably called the attorneys. She probably cut off all my money and my credit card. See, I could go to a store and the store detective would just march me right out in front of everybody. Oh, it's hard to breathe.
Miss Aldrich, why don't we just get out the old suitcases and pack up and leave? I mean, you don't need a mansion in order to live.
You die on the streets. Oh, God, what am I gonna do? She probably called up all her old biddies and told them that this terrible dancing girl who got mixed up with her son and had a baby out of wedlock.
Now, you can't have a baby out of wedlock till you're married.
Well, then so what? She probably told her that it was the gardener's son or the janitor's son. Oh, poor Jessica. She'd have me stoned, you know. She'd call the town together and she'd have them throw stones at me if she could. I can't stand this. I gotta know what's going on. I can't take this waiting. I can't even see my own family.
Now, Miss Aldrich, they can come right up to the door and I'll let them in.
Oh, yeah. And Mona can stop them on the way and tell them what a disgrace I've been. And tell them how ashamed I've made my father and my brother and my sister. Wouldn't she love to do that? Mildred, go to the window and see if you see any cars.
Well, I don't see any, just yours and Miss Croft's.
I know what she's waiting for. She's waiting till it gets dark. Mildred, stay here. I don't want you to let me out of your sight.
Oh, I won't. But I'm getting scared.
You're scared. You didn't have to go through what I did. You didn't have to sit there and have Jason scream at you.
And after you've been so loving to him.
The Aldriches, they don't know the meaning of the word love. Now, all they care about is money. They're devoted to money. Shh, wait.
I don't hear nothing.
I heard somebody moving downstairs.
Well, it's probably just Miss Croft.
She can't throw me out by herself. She's calling Steve. That's it. She's gonna have him come over and help. Oh, wouldn't he love that? Wouldn't he be so happy to do that? Mildred, I want you to go downstairs and listen very closely and find out what's going on. And the minute that you hear Steve come, you get up here and you tell me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Shh, wait, listen.
Well, it's just quiet. The whole house is quiet.
Yeah, well, that's what's wrong. It's too quiet. I mean, it's like the jungle when all the drums stop and you know they're going for the kill. Go. Worrying is definitely not good for you.
Miss Aldrich, it's me, Mildred. Can you open the door for me?
Yeah, come in.
Hi. I brought my dinner up, too, because I know that you said you don't like being alone so much of the time.
Mildred, who can think about eating? Is Steve here?
Well, no, ma'am.
Well, where's Mona?
Well, in her study.
Still?
Uh-huh. I don't know what she's doing in there, but
I know what she's doing. She's trying to plan how to cut me up into little pieces. That's what she's doing. Oh, if only I had some more time.
Miss Aldrich, you know, if you keep eating that fast, you're gonna upset your stomach.
Well, at least then it'll match the rest of my body. I didn't know I was so hungry.
Well, you missed your lunch and didn't have any breakfast either. It's no wonder you're hungry. As a matter of fact, I missed my lunch too, so I'm awful hungry myself. Oh, you know, I had Miss Sturgis give you some extra vegetables. They say it's the vegetables that have all the vitamins.
So?
'Cause of your stress. You know, you need extra vitamins 'cause you're going through a period of stress. It's like, this article I read about some of the big Hollywood stars and how they always make sure that they get their extra vitamins when they're going through a period of stress.
Well, it's a lot easier to be a Hollywood star and have your husband leave you. I understand. Then you got plenty of money.
Well, don't you have anything, Miss Aldrich?
Yeah. We're okay till October. At least that's what it says.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we will just cross that bridge in October, won't we?
Look, Mildred, I really don't want to worry about October until tomorrow, all right? I mean, today is enough for me at the moment. You don't seem to realize Mona Croft could walk in here at any minute. And you remember the way Jason yelled at me. Oh, well, he couldn't even hold a candle to the way she'd act.
Well, don't you figure that maybe she doesn't know how Mr. Aldrich doesn't think that he's a father?
I mean, Steve was in on it from the very beginning. He's the one that rigged that blood test. You know, he's probably been gathering bits of gossip for months just to tell Jason about it. So probably he and Jason went together to tell Mona. The question now is, when will she make her move? I just wish I didn't have to answer any questions, you know? I mean, I wish that I could be a zombie or something and just sit and stare into space.
You know, that is just what my Aunt Eula did.
What?
You know, when they come and told her that her husband had gotten killed, he was backed over by a tractor. Well, first she just looked kind of tired, you know, and then she slumped down and kind of stared straight ahead and didn't say nothing to nobody. I mean, didn't even blink her eyes.
Yeah.
Well, she looked like she was stone or something, had turned into a stone, you know what I mean? And everybody come up to her and say, how are you doing today, Miss Eula? How are you doing today, Miss Eula? And she would just stare and stare.
And she didn't have to answer any questions.
Nope, never said a word.
Oh, well, I could do that. I mean, just for a couple of days, just to get Mona off my back. Give myself a little time.
Do what, Miss Aldrich?
You know.
Oh, You mean sit and stare like my Aunt Eula did?
Yeah, that's right. See, I mean, my husband left me. I am distraught. I am emotionally overwhelmed. Catatonic, you see? Hey, tell me, what else did Miss Beulah, what's
Yeah,
her?
well, she didn't eat a bite. Didn't drink nothing either. And finally they had to come and carry her off to the hospital.
I think we can do that last bit. The rest of it, however, here you go. I am not going to eat another bite.
That's my dinner.
No. This is your dinner. You see, you ate all your dinner. This is my dinner, which is really untouched. And you're going to take this back downstairs to Mrs. Sturgis and tell her that I can't eat anything. And then she'll tell Mona. See, you have to tell her that I haven't been able to eat anything, and I haven't spoken a word.
Well, all right, but,
But what?
what about my dinner?
Oh, Mildred, you can miss one meal.
Well, I guess so.
You can always steal down there and grab some food, you know. In fact, you may have some sandwiches for me once in a while. The important thing is to make them believe that I've completely stopped eating. Got that? Okay, come on. Now, you go on downstairs, take this. And you tell Mrs. Sturgis I can't eat, and then come back up here and tell me what she says.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and be sure that you say it really loudly because Mona might be hanging around somewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I just gotta have time to think.
Miss Aldrich, I did just like you told me to and took the plate down to Miss Sturgis and told her that you did not touch a bite. She just took the plate from me and kept right on with her work, so I don't really think that they're going... Ooh, that's good. Just like my Aunt Eula. You know, you better be careful, though, and not try to push it too far. They might come cart you off to the loony bin.
Oh, Mildred. Nobody's gonna take me away to any loony bin. Don't worry about it. Listen, I think I'm gonna have a rest. If anybody calls, I want you to be sure and say I can't speak. Know that I'm not able to speak to anyone.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, ma'am.
Yeah?
You know, you told me to keep a lookout for Dr. Aldrich when he came.
Yes. I mean, Mona can't do anything until he comes.
Well, he's here.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yes, Mildred, come in.
Miss Sturgis said you wanted to see me, but, I mean, if you're busy, I can come back later.
No, come in, sit down. I want to talk to you about your intentions.
My intentions?
Yes, what you intend to do now.
Well,
all I'm trying to say is we should discuss your future here. Now, I've been looking at you rather carefully lately.
Yes, ma'am?
Mildred, please, don't look so frightened. All I'm trying to say is that I think that Jessica's very fortunate to have you taking care of her.
Oh, no, thank you, ma'am. She's just the most beautiful, most precious thing I've ever seen.
Oh, yes, isn't she? You don't think we could be prejudiced, do you? Mildred, you come from a rather large family, don't you?
Oh, yes, ma'am. There were 7 of us kids.
Oh, maybe that's why you are so good with children. You were the youngest, though, weren't you?
Oh, yes, I was the baby. But now that I have Jessica to look after, I can be just as nice and sweet to her as my brothers and sisters were to me.
Yes, well, as I said, I think Jessica's very lucky to have you, especially since Mrs. Aldrich is, well, she's a little distracted these days, and it's very comforting to know that the little one has all the attention and care that she needs.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I try to do my best. I mean, especially since Mr. Aldrich came and had his visit, and Miss Aldrich has been so upset. And
I know. I'm sure that will all be ironed out very soon. Mildred, whom do you think the little one looks like? Do you think she looks like Mr. Aldrich or Mrs. Aldrich?
Well, I think she favors the both of them. The best of both of them. Of course, Mr. Aldrich is so handsome and all, but you couldn't have his exact looks on a little girl. That just wouldn't be right now, would it?
Mildred, you're something. Best of both. And Mrs. Aldrich. Whom does she think Jessica favors? Herself or Jessica's father?
Well, one day she says one thing, and the next day she says another thing. It changes. You know, one day she says that the baby favors her, and the next day she says that the baby favors Mr. Aldrich.
I see. It's sort of nice having this little talk, don't you think?
Yes, ma'am, it's nice.
You know, I think in a household, everything has to be harmonious. People have to be honest with each other.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Mildred, how long have you been doing this work?
Well, ever since I got my LPN, you know, ever since I became a practical nurse.
Oh, Mildred, this distresses me.
How's that?
Mildred, you don't have an LPN. You are not a licensed practice nurse, are you?
Well, I tried. I mean, I took all the classes and I washed them dolls and I...
Yes,
and
I know, but you didn't take the examinations, did you? No, and I thought we understood that we were going to be honest with each other.
Yes, ma'am. But how did you find out about the certificate and about me being the youngest of 7 kids and all of that?
Do you think I would let anybody have the run of this house if I didn't really check them through carefully?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, no, ma'am.
And when I checked you through, I discovered that you were always a hard-working girl and that you were warm-hearted.
Well, I try.
Yes. So I'd like to help you. I'd like to get that certificate for you so that you'd feel secure, so that you wouldn't be afraid that you'd be found out.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, but in exchange, I want you to be honest with me.
Yes, ma'am, you bet I will.
All right, fine. Well, I guess I'd better get on with this correspondence. Maybe Mrs. Sturgis would give you some nice iced tea or something.
Yes. And thank you very much.
Mildred, there's one more thing.
Yes, Miss Croft?
Do you remember that day when Mrs. Aldrich was catatonic?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Dr. Wakefield seemed so upset when he came downstairs from seeing her. Why was that?
Well, she was real angry at it. Maybe that is, but maybe that's just what she needed. It snapped her right out of her state.
Oh, yes, Dr. Wakefield is a very expert man. Maybe he made her angry for a specific reason, of course. Thank you, Mildred.
Thank you, ma'am.